You are listening to Zen and the Art of Triathlon.
Well, hey there, all you triathlon studs and studettes. This is Brett Blankner with another great episode of Zen and the Art of Triathlon. Hey, on this show, we're going to do a detailed analysis of how I PR'd and how I trained with Polarized Training and had a wonderful day at the Raccoon 50-mile trail run. That's an ultramarathon, and a 50-miler is a lot like doing an Ironman. It takes about the same amount of time. It's actually more painful on the legs, and everything comes into play, such as fueling and pacing and mindset and how to train for something like this. And actually, I did a lot of triathlon training, a lot of swimming and biking to make the run training work for this. And I did better than I've ever done before. I set a new record for myself, and I think I got 10th in my age group, and I got 36th overall out of about 200, and I'm just going to guess 250 starters. They have about a 15 to 20% DNF rate. These trail runs are really, really hard, and it's about 2,500 feet, 2,500 feet of elevation gain. And it was a beautiful day, and it just worked out really, really nicely. So I'm going to detail for you how I got it done so that you can do similar things yourself. And then also, we're going to cover a little bit of triathlon news and tell you what's going on with the show and what's coming up and what's going on. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with a little bit of, the triathlon news. Here we go. All right, the biggest thing that's happened in the world of triathlon recently is that the WTC, the World Triathlon Corporation, that's the company that owns the Ironman brand, has changed a bunch of their rules for racing, and it's actually really nice that it's standardized around the world. And I think the most important thing that people would want to know is the draft zones for an age group athlete. This is now 10 meters long draft zone and measured from the leading edge of the front wheel of your bike extending towards the back of the bike in front of you. So it's about 5 bike lengths. So 1 meter is 2 meters is 1 bike length. And so it's about 5 bike lengths of clear space between bikes. An age group athlete may enter the draft zone of another athlete when passing and must continuously progress through the draft zone. A maximum of 20 seconds will be allowed to pass through the zone of another athlete. So I think some races it's been different and you don't really know, and a lot of the pros are excited that there's at least a standard for all races, and this might be the same. The pros have a different draft distance I'm going to talk about in a second, but there's a lot of alignment here with the ITU International Triathlon Union. Professional athletes, professional bicycle draft zone is 12 meters long, so that's an extra bike. 6 bike lengths. And a professional athlete must immediately move to the side upon entering the draft zone of another athlete. So it's got to be staggered, no slipstreaming, and must continuously progress through the draft zone. A maximum of 25 seconds will be allowed to pass through the zone of another athlete. All right, so there's lots of talk on Twitter about the pros, thanking everybody for getting this done. And Challenge, actually, I don't know what it is, but Challenge has a really good draft zone ruling. The Challenge races that pros really, really, really like. So you got to check that out. Let's see. If you get penalties for this, you can get disqualified on the 3rd penalty. So first one, 5 minutes. Second one, another 5 minutes. Third time, you're out. Disqualification. And then also, we have some wetsuit information. Wetsuit is pros. Can't wear a wetsuit below 71.5. Age groupers can't be allowed to wear wetsuits under 76.1. And if you're from if you're from another country, then it's 21.9 C centigrade, 24.5 centigrade for pros and age groupers. Doesn't seem to be that different to me. People are really sensitive about water temperature. I think a lot of it is what you're used to, and then it's definitely a lot to do with your body fat. And you can take somebody that's got a lot of body fat and cold temperatures don't bother them at anywhere near as bad, and then you can get skinny and cold temperatures bother you. But then it's not that way for everybody. Some people don't seem to be bothered as much. I personally can get really, really cold in cold water, and when it gets to be 68, 69 degrees, I can last about an hour, and my body starts to shutting down about 45, 50 minutes in, and I can stand it a little bit longer, but then I've got issues for a while after that, for example. And then USA Triathlon sanctioned events reserves the right to allow athletes to participate in the non-competitive wetsuit wave for temperatures 76.2 and up to 83.8, and that's 24.5 centigrade, 28.8 C, and there's lots more. So if you go to the leading triathlon websites, you'll find articles, links to this. And one of the interesting ones is, for example, you can't wear a snorkel now without a doctor's note. And I kind of agree with that. If you're wearing a snorkel, it's kind of like training wheels on a bike. That's what people that have gotten beyond that and know it's not necessary feel or thinking when they see you swimming with a snorkel. And I don't like to judge too much. If you need a snorkel or you want to wear a snorkel, and I know snorkel causes extra drag, so it's really not that. It's not any faster. It's not a big deal. But if you're planning on trying to get around swimming and just survive it, and maybe even just wear a snorkel, you're going to need a doctor's note. I don't know who you give the doctor's note to, but that's kind of crazy. All right. Also, on Twitter news, I have managed to become friends, just briefly, with the guy who is in charge of the challenge races in the Middle East. And I don't know what that's going to lead to, but I am super excited about that. I have so much respect for what Challenge is doing, and just everything that they're doing, how they handle the pros, how they handle races, and it's just so great. So we're going to see where that leads. On the ZenTri front, we are doing the home front. We are trying to sell our house to move to a new home and trying to figure out if we can afford an endless pool. And we're trying to work on that. And there's all kinds of cool stuff. And I think that's about it for now. I need to get the show out and wrap this up so that everybody can see what I did and use some of the training info and racing info for the Rocky Raccoon that went so well, and then we can move on to more shows with more interviews with pros and race directors and all kinds of cool stuff like that. I know that Justin Metzler has offered to be on some more shows, and he's doing a training camp. And let's see, John Hirsch did Israman. That's the Ironman in Israel, and he's wanting to come on the show to talk about that. That's one of the hardest Ironmans out there. He did the half, and I think he got fourth. He got fourth overall. He's a pro. And so that'll be some cool stuff coming up in future shows. All right, let's go ahead and get started with the review of the Rocky Raccoon. Here we go. All right. What I'm looking at here is my notes after the race, leading up to the race a little bit, and then after the race. And I highly suggest doing this because if you ever do the same race again, or you want to look at your notes from a race that went really well or a race that went really bad, what you can do is create a Google document, anything like that. I do workflowy, which is really nice, and I create a category, a bullet point for races, and then sub bullets and stuff like that for other races. And workflow is a really cool document. Zoom in, zoom out. I don't know. It's like a logging thing. It's really, really cool. So check them out, workflowy.com. And I have a list of races that I've done and kept notes on of significant stuff, and it's really cool. So step one, when you do a race, take notes afterwards. And what I do is I spend about the next week writing down notes about the race, things that come to mind, things that I should have done, things that I shouldn't have done, things that I could have done better, and things that went well, and things that I'd change. And I write them down in my notes, and then I create a document. And then if I ever do the race again, I can pull them up. And the week after the race is a really good time to do this, because this is like, if you ever get into an argument with somebody and then you walk off, and then 10 minutes later you're like, oh man, I should have said this, then I would have really won the argument. This is what that is. This is a way to go, oh man, I should have done this, or this worked really well. And this is it's a natural thing, like after something happens later, to think, oh man, I should have done this. That's when you want to capture all this stuff. So what we're going to do is go through my list of stuff. And also, if you're new to the podcast, I should also mention who I am. I forgot to do that towards the beginning. I don't like to do that like every show, but every once in a while I forget. Every once in a while it's nice to remind people who your host is for this podcast, so you know where all this information is coming from. I've been doing triathlons since about 2002. And I'm pretty competitive. I'm a competitive person, and I come from a swimming background with a little mix of other sports like basketball and track and stuff like that. But I was really a competitive high school swimmer, and then got burned out, and I was a sprint freestyler. And getting into the triathlon stuff, I used to mountain bike before getting triathlon, and surf when I lived in California. And I've done, I don't know, like over the years, I finally got to a point where I could do Ironmans, and I've done about 13 Ironmans, and I've done a 100-mile trail run, and I have no idea how many 50-milers, like 6 to 8, and I've done a whole bunch of half Ironmans, and I'm really competitive and good at the shorter stuff. And then I'm not a small guy, so when it starts getting longer and longer and longer, I get a little bit less competitive, because I weigh around 180 pounds, and I'm 6'3", and the longer you go, the better off you are to be skinnier and scrawnier, and it just kind of works against me. Swimmers have a lot of upper body muscle mass just naturally over time, and that's what I'm working against. So when I'm doing the Rocky Raccoon 50, I did pretty well. I look like, in the photos, I look like a Viking that's out lost his ship and is out wandering the woods, which is kind of funny. And like, hey, where's the village I need to pillage? And so that's a little bit about me and where I come from. I'm always trying to qualify for Kona, and I've gotten closer and closer and closer every year. And I'm just like you. I'm trying to figure it out, And then what I learn along the way, I pass along in this podcast, because the lifestyle is just so awesome, and I like describing the riddle of endurance sports. And over time, I've gotten a whole lot better. I used to be terrible at the longer stuff. I mean, it was a nightmare out there. And I finished a race, my first ever half Ironman, and a guy told me that I was inspirational, and I said, why? And he said, because he was behind me when we finished, just by 100 feet, and he said, because you looked so terrible out there. You looked like you were dying, but you just would not stop. And I thought, okay, I guess that's I guess that's good. And then now, after 12 years, well, definitely like 9 years of doing the half Ironman and Ironman distance, I'm now an all-world athlete, top 5% of half Ironman and Ironman racers. You know that little program that Ironman does, and so that's really cool. And I'm getting towards the top of my age group and getting closer to qualifying for Kona all the time. And I find the biggest block to getting faster is getting sucked into crazy stuff that's promoted on the web and on the internet and forums and stuff, and you keep getting distracted trying some crazy new thing when actually just traditional smart training works out. But the human tendency is to not is to get distracted and to always be looking for the quick fix. And it's always takes you on a route or on a route sideways instead of moving forward. But the way forward is so simple and so plain and just work that you keep wishing that there's an easier way, and you get distracted and go sideways. So that's a lot of what this show is about, is to detail the ways I go sideways, and then I bring it back. Bring it back online, and then I improve, and I tell you what worked. Okay, so that's enough about me. Let's see. Before the race, the Rocky Raccoon. Okay, so it's a beautiful and it's a classic trail run race. They do the 100. Like I said earlier in the show, I've done the 100 one time, and that was brutal. That was... I managed to say brutal. That's how hard it was. It was brutal. Unbelievably hard, and that's not even a hard 100 miler. It's just 50 feet of elevation gain per mile on average, and it's in pine forest, and it's a looping trail, and it's just it's really well catered, and it's really well professionally run, and I've done the race, and Scott Jurek and other famous people are on the course. Ian Sharman. And I'm trying to think of some other famous people are out there on the trail with you, and you can see them going the other way. It's really amazing, and it's just such a great classic race, and it's really cool to be out there. And now, the past couple years, they do the 100 on one weekend, and they do the 50 on another weekend. And also in this show, we're going to do an interview with the race director, and a little bit of audio with Emily and I before the race and during the race. No, before the race. Yeah, Kai runs the 1 miler, and and he wins, which is really cool. And the night before the race at the pizza place, and just before the race. So we have a little bit of that audio to mix in, which will be really cool. Okay, before the race, training for the race, I did polarized training. I've been doing that for a while. And it's where you do intervals, and the intervals stress your muscles kind of like you're lifting weights. And then when you're done with an interval, so an interval can take anywhere from 30 seconds to a minute to 5 minutes, just like if you were lifting a barbell at the gym. And then when it starts to burn and you start thinking, maybe I'm done, and your form starts coming apart, you back off. And I'm talking about you back off, like you go to zero. You do almost nothing. And you let your muscles recover, and then you do it again after you've totally recovered and kind of gotten back, feel like you can get back up to speed and start up again. And it's like fartlek training, and it's called polarized because you're either on or you're off. You're either going hard or you're going really, really easy. And what this does is it stimulates muscle growth, and it makes you stronger, and at the same time, you're out putting in miles, and you're doing this while you're out biking, running, and swimming, and it works. It works really, really well. And that was my training method leading up to the race, doing about 40 to 45 miles per week. And because you're either on or off, the recovery is actually really, really fast. So the week before the race, I was still doing intervals on a treadmill and building up strength in my leg muscles because you can. It's really neat. My longest run before the race was 18 miles. And that's it. Not 30 miles or anything like that. You only need 18 miles to get this done. And then if that's all I needed. And I did back-to-back days of 17 and a half to 18 miles the weekend before. And the day before the race, I weighed about 181 pounds, and I would say I'm probably about 15%. I'm a little heavy right now. Ideal racing weight for me is about 175, 172. So I'm about like 15% body fat, so I'm not like crazy skinny or anything like that. And yeah, Kai raced the day before and got first with a 750 mile on trails, which was really cool. And you're going to hear in this that he wore my Garmin. I have a Garmin 920 XT, and I put it on him, and also with my heart rate strap, and recorded it. And I tried not to be crazy dad, and just did it for fun. And you'll hear in the audio from him and see what that was like. It was pretty cool. So I've got it recorded, him running a 1 mile fun run. And then, the weekend before the race, I did 2 long runs back to back that I ran them really easy, and I was testing fuel to see, and you can listen to the previous show. I was testing fuel to see what would be the best mix for the race, and also to really work my ankles and make them really tough, because one thing that starts to get to you when you're running trails is all the weirdness of what you're hitting with your feet, your plantar fasciitis, your ankles, your toes. Like, you need to know how to run on trails, and the twisting and the turning and lifting branches up and not hitting your head in the branches, and stuff is steep. Even if there's not much climb or descent, the climb that is there is steep because you're going into creek channels and back up again. And that is way different than running on pavement. So I ran on trails a few times getting up to the race, and that's really important. And Emily and I went to in my notes from the 2 years before when I did really well, I had in there that we went to Olive Garden the night before the race, and I ate vegetarian pizza, and it was fantastic. That I had lots of energy during the race. It was really good. So do that again. So we go to the Olive Garden the night before the race, and this is in Huntsville, Texas, and the Olive Garden is considered a real Italian destination. And they're like, oh, we asked to see a menu because we had to wait like 10-15 minutes for a table. We asked to see a menu, and I started looking through the menu, and there's no pizza on the menu at all. I'm like, what in the world is this? And they said, yeah, we don't do pizza anymore here. And Emily started arguing with me, like, come, let's just eat here. And I said, no, Olive Garden is not special. I mean, it's nice, but it's not special. The only reason we're here is for pizza. And so I did the Google Maps thing and on my phone and typed in pizza on Google Maps, and bam, 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 all around town, there's pizza places, and Double Dave's is a Texas chain, and we went there instead. That's actually in the audio from the race, and you're going to hear that in a minute. And I got in here, like what size pizza I ordered and how much of it I ate, about half of it, and that went really well. And yeah, let's go ahead and do some of the audio from the race. And yeah, it's some good stuff. We got an interview with the race director and all kinds of cool stuff. So let's go ahead and put that in. Here we go. All right, we are here at the start line of the Rocky Raccoon 1 mile run. Let me see Kai's watch. Let me see. Okay. Kai's wearing my Garmin 920 and a heart rate strap. And he's serious. Look at him.
I see him.
And he's got on his Von Blanc racing shirt. And we're here to support.
Do you know what the course is like?
Do they? She's in cowboy boots.
We're going straight out and straight back. Okay? I'm just going to be patient.
I'll be at the turnaround.
He's gonna, so when you see him, you touch his hand and turn around and come back.
There's actually, it's even cooler, I guess it's cooler. There's a big oak tree, or a big pine tree. You're going to run around that tree and go back.
Awesome.
Yeah? So don't slip
Try
on
to chase him. Okay? If you win, you get his bike.
All right, if you get tired of running, just walk and then run some more, okay?
Is your watch still doing okay? Okay. Just making sure.
Thanks, Henry.
I'm keeping an eye on Kai's watch so it doesn't go into wait mode.
Hurry up, we're waiting on you.
Hey, if the heart rate chart thing comes off, just take it off and hold it in your hand or whatever. Okay. It's not that big of a deal. You're probably gonna. There's nobody else here your age anyway. Oh, there's one kid.
Tick, tick.
I know. Go sign up and get your bib.
Oh, they got to sign up. Okay, hold on.
You're gonna be the fastest one in.
Okay, here we go.
Go!
Go, Kai. So Kai's in the lead. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kids, and there's a mountain biker leading, a grown-up leading. Kai is definitely in the lead. Second place just started walking.
I can't imagine running in. Well, I did run in cowboy boots.
There you go. One of the girls is running in cowboy boots. That's funny. All right, and we'll have data on Kai when we're done. It'll be funny. I reminded Kai that there's actually prizes, I think.
Yeah.
There have been the past few years. And so then all of a sudden he was like, okay, I'm going to race this thing. Okay, cool. All right. We see Kai. He's coming down the stretch, down the power line. He's running hard. Woo! Go, go, go!
Keep it going.
And boom.
Nice. Wow.
Good job.
Hey, Kai, over here. Kai. Did you hit stop? No. You just hit like that. And it's done. Cool.
Nice.
Good job.
Go over to the prize table.
All right, we're here with the first place winner of the Rocky Raccoon 1 mile trail run. It's your first victory at a trail race, Kai. How you feeling?
Good.
So how was it? How was the course?
Good. I remembered it well.
Yeah?
Yeah?
That helps, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. I think some more people are coming.
We should go cheer for them.
So, are you tired? Did you push hard the whole way? Mm-hmm. All right. Cool. What'd you get?
Little bird
A cool metal painted bird.
that says Rocky
1
1 mile 2015.
And then you got a medal and a yo-yo?
Yep.
Ooh, that's a good one. Cool. All right. Awesome, dude. I'm proud of you. Good job. All right, I'm here with Joe Presidas, the race director for Rocky Raccoon 150 and a whole bunch of other races.
Yep.
And so how was the 100 last weekend?
Oh, it's fantastic. Good weather, fast times. It really turned out well.
Yeah, I saw Ian Sharman won, and there's some finish line, well, not really finish line, but finish line tent interviews with some of your winners. And
Yeah, we had a new unbelievable time for the women as well.
Yeah, there was what was the time? I saw it was broken.
14:22 for
cow.
Nicole Studer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's such a thing as world records for trail, but it's certainly probably the fastest time a woman's ever run for 100 miles on trail.
Wow.
So freaky fast, yeah, hell of a run she had.
Yeah, and it was the USATF.
She was that champ for USATF for the women, and
What was the prizes? I don't remember.
$1,000.
Oh yeah,
$1,000
nice.
for the male and female winners. Paul Terranova was the first place male. He was third overall, but first for the USATF.
So Ian Sharman's originally from the UK,
Yeah.
and the other guy was from
The
Italy.
guy was from Italy, yeah. So Ian Sharman certainly had the race of the day,
Yeah.
but he was not a U.S. citizen, so he wasn't in the championship.
Yeah.
So he had a phenomenal run. He won the race. Had a hell of a good run he did.
Yeah.
Pretty evenly paced. But I guess Nicole Studer was the story of the day, running a time like that for the women. I
Yeah.
mean, it was fantastic to watch.
So tomorrow, the 50, you think the weather forecast is going to be a little bit warmer than usual?
I think so.
So what do we do? Do we just pour more water on ourselves? Or what?
No, I don't think you pour more water. You use the ice. I think if you use more water, you just flush yourself out.
Yeah.
So I think you need to eat and drink like you normally do. You just need to use the ice that we have at the aid stations.
Okay. Is that you ringing? Do you need to get that?
No, I'll just push the button and shut it down here.
So there's going to be ice at the aid stations?
Yes,
I didn't know
when
that.
it's a warm day, we always put ice out there.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could totally use that.
Yeah, we live here in Texas, and in Texas we have to use the ice. Yeah, there's not a race we do, we don't have it at it, but some of them we don't need it.
Yeah. Awesome, man. I'm really excited. I came here 6, 7, 8 years ago and did the 50 with Chris Matus.
Oh, yeah.
And it about freaking killed me. And then I said, I got to come back and get better at this.
Oh, good.
So I'm down from a 12-hour or something to a 9.5.
Well, you must have trimmed down some and done some training, huh?
I trained a lot.
Well, good for you, man.
Yeah, it's awesome coming back every year, like a repeatable quality race to come back and do.
Yeah, it's a good
That
place.
you could
It's
measure yourself against the same thing every year.
It's a good litmus test, see where you're at.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not far from where you're at, so it's easy to come down here and go for a run. I used to do it years ago. They had a race here called Sunmark
Yeah, right.
that we used to do, and I did the 50-miler like 12 years in a row.
Wow.
And it was a good litmus test for me to see where I was each year, yeah.
So what other races do you put on?
Bandera, 100K, there's Hell's Hills, there's Cactus Rose, Wild Hare, Pandora's, what else?
I
Nueces.
haven't heard of Pandora's. Where is that?
Pandora's is a trail marathon in May that I do outside of Burnett.
Oh, wow.
It's
So
on
is
a
it really
big-
hilly?
It's not necessarily hilly, it's on a big granite dome. So it's a pretty easy course, but there's a 3-mile section. The whole thing is one big rock.
It's not Enchanted Rock, is it?
It's the next biggest dome in the whole region after Enchanted Rock.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
but it's not a state park. It's a guy's private ranch.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Cool. Okay, so what? Did I cut you off? Were there any more races?
There probably is, but my brain's a little fuzzy. I've been out here a whole week. I did the 100-miler. Now we hung around all week cleaning up and getting ready for the 50-miler. So, yeah, I'm a little
Are
fuzzy.
you gonna keep doing them on separate weekends, or are you gonna bring them back
we
together?
will evaluate each year. Our numbers were a little down this year, and we looked at it, but I think probably next year we may even add a 50K to the 50-mile to get some more numbers in it, because the numbers are down this year.
Yeah. I
And
wonder why. Doesn't make sense.
I know it doesn't make any sense, but that's how it rolls sometimes. There's a lot more races in the state now, and so the numbers are spreading out, but at the same time, it's generating more trail runners. More people getting into this sport, which means eventually we'll end up with more runners back at this race again.
Cool. Well, thanks, man.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, you have fun.
All right, we're in the ZenTri mobile studios, and it here we are.
Again.
And it's 5:07 a.m. Emily got a good wake up from me. Hey, baby.
We're leaving in like 20 minutes.
It's 4:20. Get up.
Yeah, after I spent I don't know how long asking what time to get up, and so I set my alarm for 4:30.
You're so pretty, baby.
And then I'm still trying to get ready, and y'all are in the car.
You're so
I didn't
beautiful.
have my contacts in yet.
You're amazing. Happy Valentine's Day.
That's not today.
It could be every day. Kai, I was just telling Kai the secret of steel, and about how the Vikings were some of the people that figured out steel.
Yep.
And so they used it for armor and weapons, and that's why they dominated for a while.
For a while.
Well, until other people figured it out. Then they lost their advantage. So, the race is this morning. What are you eating, Kai? Some kind of balance bar or something like that?
Yeah.
You know, that's for ladies. You're going to turn into a woman.
It is not for ladies.
Kai's popping his fingers. Girlfriend. Anyway. So it's pitch black. We're in the forest. It's 40 degrees right now, maybe 41, 42. It's supposed to be 45 at race start. It's supposed to be a high of 70, 75 today. There's people running around all over the place, dropping off bags. It's 5:08, and the race starts at 6. Okay, so we got a couple things going on with recording and stuff like that. So I'm going to be doing live tracking on my watch. So I'm using the Garmin 920, which allows live tracking, and I'm wearing my phone. Lots of people do. In fact, most people probably do. Wear a phone on them. And then, so my watch talks to my phone, and then my phone transmits out my location and stuff like that, and my vital signs, so Emily can see that I'm still alive. And
Wait, I'm sorry. Let's go back. Repeat. What did you say about something about vital signs?
My vital signs. Did I not say that right?
But I missed what you said. Who's checking them?
You.
When?
Because you're going to get a map of me running, and it's going to show my heart rate and speed and all kinds of stuff.
Okay, the heart rate's not vital signs all by itself.
Okay, nurse.
I thought you meant we were gonna.
Oh my
you were
God.
checking your blood pressure and all that.
Oh my
I thought
God.
we were doing all that. You
Bring
said
the
vital
bring the
signs.
nursing nerd level down a little bit. To most people,
Sorry.
heart rate would be a vital sign.
You said I could do lab draws on you too.
Okay, we're not doing lab draws. You're not going to prick my finger every mile
We could.
to see my lactic acid profile. You got to drag a med cart behind me while I
Crash cart?
Crash cart?
Yeah, I might.
Code.
You're
What's
making a
code
lot of
brown mean?
jokes.
What's code brown mean?
You know exactly what it means.
What is code brown?
It's popular in nursing homes.
I pooped my pants.
Keep on going.
I feel like I pooped my pants right now.
Great.
Kai's laughing so hard he's laid down in the back. Kai, how was your race yesterday?
Oh, good.
Okay, so battery life is an issue. So we're gonna do live tracking on me until I get down to probably where I start getting worried about battery life, and then maybe turn it off because I want to get I want to leave the watch on, and then also I'm gonna be listening to music off and on, and in my notes from last year it said bring headphones, and also I was listening to an interview on Talk Ultra with a guy that's famous for, he's not that fast, but he's just done tons and tons of marathons in the UK and tons of stuff, and ran across the Sahara and all that stuff. And he said this exact same thing. Bring headphones, because when other people start talking around you, especially if they're talking negative talk, like, oh, I just don't know, this is so hard, whatever, you want to be able to tune them out. And then in my notes, it said that some people, when they get real chatty, that they're talking to each other, not to you, that it gets really distracting, and it can actually get kind of annoying for some reason. And to put on your own music to kind of block them out temporarily. I don't have enough battery to run music the entire time, but so what I'm going to do is carry my headphones with me and then use it strategically. So everything is appropriate response. Right, Kai? Zen? Kai, how's your meditation going?
Great.
How many times did you meditate in the
We're
past
going
week?
to IHOP as soon as you take off.
Is that where you're going to meditate? Kai, do you remember how I told you how to meditate? What do you do with you hold your fingers together and sit cross-legged? And you have to...
You don't have to sit cross-legged.
Do you float 3 feet off the ground and fly around?
Oh, yes, totally,
Like a magic carpet?
Yes.
And you can cast spells?
Mm-hmm.
And be a
iron bar
say
behind
wizard.
Wizard!
Okay. All right. I might have more later, but if I don't, the race will start, and it's the better I'm doing and the faster I'm going. Look at this guy. Look at me. Boy, he is in it to win it. Look at him. They can't hear me. No, I'm saying he looks both awesome, and he's got a big beard. Oh, Emily saw a picture of Rob Carr's beard in a magazine.
She got all excited. She's like,
I wasn't so much into the beard as I just said he had nice eyes, and then he had his ear pierced, and I wondered if he had any tattoos.
And I wondered what his underwear was, and I wondered what he smells like.
So then you made me sit there and look up.
He had Band-Aids over his nipples, and I just wanted to peel them back and see what was under.
No, I did not. God.
Oh, he looks like he might be sweaty. I need to wipe his brow. He's so strong.
Okay.
No? Are we done?
I was done a few minutes ago. You were the one that kept.
Oh, yeah, I did. Do you remember that Seinfeld where they're making fun of Jerry wearing that one guy's making fun of Jerry wearing that fur coat? And he's like, oh, I'm so fancy with my fur coat. I'm famous. Oh, look at me. Touch me, feel me, hug me. And then everybody starts going, you okay, dude? All right. So I might go poop. All right? Later. Out.
That's gross. 5 or a 15K.
All right. I had some other things to think about. Last night we ate at Double Dave's. Hey. Remember, Emily got all mad at me because we got all the way to Olive Garden.
Yes, and kind of excited about having a sit-down, nice dinner with salad and hopefully a dessert at the end. And Brett threw a little temper tantrum when he found out that they didn't have pizza anymore.
Yeah.
Well, they did have pizza, but it was kids.
They have
it was
kids.
Not good enough. Not good enough.
Pepperoni.
So my previous race PR's race note said vegetarian pizza that you got at the Olive Garden was the most awesome night before the race meal ever. So we go to the Olive Garden, and then I start looking at the menu, and there's no pizza. And we're out in the lobby, because we're waiting to get a table. And I go, well, that's it. So on my Google Maps on the phone, I searched for pizza. Double Dave's was 5 minutes away, which is a Texas-y kind of chain of pizza. And they sometimes have a buffet. And then so we get there, and then Emily threw a temper tantrum that there was no buffet. Yeah, you did.
I was just not understanding. I thought it was every day.
I was just not understanding. That's what Emily says when she throws a
and then
temper
I threw a temper tantrum when it took so long to eat, to get the food.
Oh, it took forever. And then Emily was all going, this better be our pizza, or I'm gonna,
Freak
and then nothing. But anyway, we ate a ton last night. It was great.
Mom didn't let me eat 5 pieces, even though they were really
ate
small.
Oh my
Pizza
God.
rolls and, like,
Kai
4
ate so much pizza so
pizza
fast, he
and
almost
salad.
went into a food coma right after that.
Yeah, you ate like 99 pieces of
Yeah.
vegetarian.
Yeah, but I did almost fall asleep. And then so last night I put together all my stuff for the race and then left just a little bit for this morning. All right. It's time to start getting ready, baby. You ready?
Oh my God, Mom, do
Happy
not
Fireman
like
Day.
that.
Who is
Do
that?
I
not
don't know.
press
Mommy's looking
like.
at pictures of shirtless firemen with muscles.
I just showed you something I came across on Facebook. I'm not
Facebook.
looking at pictures of them. It
You
was
get-
there. Go ahead. We're done.
Okay, are we done? Mommy needs to get back to looking at her firemen.
You were in the big race. Hurry to get over here. What
Yeah,
are you
and here we are. Now we're ready.
Mhm.
Pause. Okay, be back in a minute. Bye. All right, here we go. The race started, and it was a really nice start. And other things in my show notes, the night before the race, I pinned on my race number to my shorts, and they do the safety pins and the race number trimmed down, and you put it on when you do trail running, you pin it to the leg of your shorts, and then and laid out all my stuff for the next day and mixed my fuel the night before. What I'd used for a fuel mix on the race was I ran with an amphipod belt and one bottle. They clip onto your waist, 10.5 ounces of maltodextrin and just a tiny bit of Gatorade powder. And I have 3 bottles of this, and the running course is a looping run. So I was going to do 3 loops of 16-something miles. And so I would finish one. The plan was finish a bottle and then drop it off and pick up another bottle. And the bottles are already pre-made. So they're like drop bags, like halfway through like an Ironman bike ride or something like that. And then there's aid stations every so often along the run course. And what I did is on my wrist, I wrote with a permanent marker, a Sharpie, I wrote the distance between aid stations because they can vary a lot. Some of them are less than 3 miles apart, and some of them are 4.7. One of them's 4.7 miles till the next aid station. And if you're running, the temperature forecast was to get in the 70s. If you're running 4.7 miles from one aid station to the next, and it's 70 degrees, you want to know that that's about how far you're going to run so you can load up on water. And what you'll find is while you're running loops and you're out in the woods and you've been running 40 miles, you kind of forget things. And so you don't want to have to think. You just want to know. And so I just look down at my wrist and I go, okay, 4.7 miles to the next aid station. This aid station, load up on extra water. And I was running with a water bottle in my hand and then another empty belt bottle, a 10.5 ounce bottle on my waist that clipped in. And most of the time it was empty because you don't want to carry extra weight while you're running if you don't need to. But between that aid station run, that 4.7 miler, I would fill that one up with water as well and go through it. In my fuel, I added some green tea matcha powder and sea salt. And then in my running bottle in my hand was a little pocket thing. And I put in salt pills, ibuprofen, Tylenol, and Vaseline lip therapy, which I'm going to get to in a second in that. And so I had all that and started off on the run. Before the run actually started, I put Skin Sake, which is a lube that's really hard to remove. It's good stuff. I put it on my crotch and between my legs where the shorts would rub and on my feet, and then where I typically get blisters, then put on my socks and put more inside my shoes where I typically get blisters. And it worked really well. I ended up, after the race was over, with a small blister on the ball of my left foot above my See, this is how detailed notes I take, so that next year I'll put more lube right there, above the ball of my left foot, above ground level, like it was the base of my thumb joint. Okay, so we got up at 3:30 in the morning, left hotel at 4:45, just enough time to finish getting stuff together and make it to the park at 5:05. And in my notes, 5:05 to poop at nice bathrooms with no line instead of a porta-can. They have one nice bathroom there. And I got there, and as soon as I got into the bathroom, there was one guy in the stall, and then I was waiting on him, and as I was waiting on him, all of a sudden the line just started forming behind me. And see, I put this in my notes, so next time I know. You want to get there by 5 o'clock. Race starts at 6, by the way. You want to get there at 5 o'clock so you got time to go to the bathroom if you need to. And then starting temperature was around 41 degrees at 6 a.m. Clear weather with a little bit of fog, which means there wasn't any wind. Got up to around 67 by mid-afternoon. And so that's important because all the notes about how the race went are relevant because temperature has a ton to do with running. You want to know if something worked or not, whether it was a hot day or a cold day. And then I started off the race wearing my Von Blanc shirt, and this is really cool. So my family comes from, just barely, some kind of royalty in Germany. We had like a little castle or something like that, and then the Prussians attacked from the north and ran the Von Blancs out of Germany. And this is in the 1800s, and we fled and changed our name to Blankner, and then got on a boat, fled to the United States. A baby was born on the boat, and the baby died and had to be buried on the road after we landed in the Boston Harbor area, and there was a dirt road on the way into Boston and into the town, and our family buried the baby that didn't make it, and maybe somebody else on the side of the road. And then kept going into town, and that's how the Blankners got to got to America. And my dad did all this research and found out all this, and so Von Blanc is the old family name, and as a joke around our house, we call ourselves Von Blanc Racing, and it's kind of funny because we're racing for our lives. The Von Blancs that were fit and were healthy enough to haul ass and get out of there are the ones that survive. So your instinct to run and to race is actually a survival instinct, because the ones that don't do that tend to not make it. And that's still going on today with humans all over the planet, and it's been going on since the beginning of time. And that's why racing and running and all the endurance is in your blood. And this is why you like this stuff. And I'm talking to you listening right now. That's why you're here. All right. So we have these t-shirts made up as a tongue-in-cheek kind of fun thing called Von Blanc Racing. And they're black and they're really cool. And Emily and I have one, and Kai has one. And so we wore them Kai wore his during his fun run the day before. And I wore mine during my race, and Emily has one too, and she wore it for both. All right, so this race started, and what I did, it's pitch black, and there's headlamps and stuff, and I wore, I got in here, let's see, I got kind of towards the front, but not towards the very, very, very front, because I didn't think I'm not that competitive. I'm competitive, but I'm not that fast, is what I mean. And the race started, and it's just a countdown and a go, and it's just headlamps that kind of float off over the horizon into the woods. It's really neat to see an ultra trail run start. They're pretty neat. And this time around, this race, not many people passed me, or not very many people did I pass. And that was nice. I managed somehow to be at a sweet spot at the starting. You know, you start a race and then it gets really annoying because everybody's like trying to get around you, or you're trying to get around everybody. So kind of towards the front is my notes. Oh, and by the way, I averaged an 11-minute mile for the whole thing. Then I wore headphones. So I have wireless Jaybird headphones, Bluetooth headphones. And in my notes it says, "Thank God." And I was like, "Thank God." And then I wore headphones. So I have wireless Jaybird headphones, Bluetooth headphones. And in my notes it says, "Thank God." And then I wore headphones. So I have wireless Jaybird headphones, Bluetooth headphones. And in my notes it says, "Thank God." because I'm so used to training at the Ironman level. In ultra running, you tend to have to train by yourself, because if you train with other people, you'll actually not train right, because you're training at their speeds and other speeds, and you won't be very competitive because you're not training yourself. You're just kind of hanging out with people and doing it socially. So you need to do your intervals at your speed, at your watts and stuff, and your hills, and your running at your time, and so I'm used to training alone. And when I get around other people and they're yakking about, talking, it's really weird. It's really distracting. And the other thing is, a lot of times people negative self-talk. They talk about, oh, well, I'm just going to try to do, whatever. If I don't do well, then, I don't really care. I'm just out here. I drank a lot of beer last night. This negative, this downer kind of talk. And it affects you as an athlete to hear this kind of stuff. I mean, really what you need to hear is run. You need a voice in your head saying, run at the exact right speed for you right now. And you can do this. You can do this. Run at the exact right speed that's right for you right now. You can do this. You can do this. Do the right thing. Come on. It's a long day. If you can hear any voice in your head, that's the voice that should be playing. And what's playing instead is just other people's crazy stuff, And so in my show notes, or my notes from the last time I did the race, I have in there, bring headphones with you. You don't have to play them the entire time, but if people start talking and it starts getting annoying, just turn on your headphones, and then you can't hear them anymore, and just play some music, and it's smart. Do that. And you can do that in ultra running. And so I did. And I turned them on when needed to save the battery, and turned them off, when not needed, and it worked out great. I had a visor. I was wearing a running visor and a headlamp that you clip onto the visor in the front, and those aren't very powerful, and it actually just doesn't work. It's nice for getting ready for the race, so that you can look in your bag or whatever you got and kind of see what you're doing. But it is not enough to really light up a trail. It's powered. It's an amphipod, and it's powered by a couple of watch batteries, so it's not that bright. So it's useful before the race, but not really good for lighting up the trail. And then the killer app is the handheld flashlight. My friend Chris taught me this. Chris Matus, who's a really good trail runner, taught me this. He said if you wear a headlamp while trail running, even though there's this huge market for headlamps and it seems like the thing you got to have, and they do work pretty well. The interesting thing is because it's right in line with your line of sight, the shadows that it throws are hidden behind the object that it's lighting up, right? If you hold a flashlight at your forehead and point it at things, you'll never see shadows because the shadows are behind the object that you're lighting up. Well, this is a huge problem in trail running because what happens is you have no definition of what's going on the trail, and you can't see roots. You see a stick, kinda, but you don't know how tall it is because there's no shadow behind it. And the alternative is to run with the flashlight in your hand lower down by your waist, and guess what it does? It throws a long shadow of anything that's sticking up. And then you can step over things or see that there's a hole. And I've done this. I've run lots with a headlamp and then vice versa with a handheld down by your waist flashlight. And the difference is dramatic. And so we're starting off the race. And yeah, there's people falling down around me and tripping and stuff like that. And I'm running with my with a handheld flashlight. So if you're going to go trail running at night, the handheld is way better. And I was just using a little LED flashlight that's just a typical little jobber because I knew it wasn't going to rain, so I wasn't worried about getting the waterproof one or anything. And it's lightweight. And the downside, though, of that is it can get you seasick after a while because you're swinging your hands back and forth and you're lighting up the trail, and the shadows are moving, and the light's moving like all over the place. And you're also having to hold something in your hand. But the Rocky Raccoon starts at 6 a.m. And so I looked at the sunrise time, and I knew I was going to get about 45 minutes of dark. And I figured I could survive, and I know I could survive about 45 minutes of this without getting seasick or getting frustrated and getting tired of watching a flashlight bob up and down as I run around the trail. And then, let's see, that was a really good tip that my friend gave me, so that was pretty cool. And then also, I was wearing a beanie hat and gloves and an overshirt to stay warm because it's 46 degrees, and you're waiting at the starting line, for things to get going. And the air was actually damp. Oh, if it's high humidity, damp air is actually colder than dry air. It's really weird. So I started off the run with wearing, one of these string backpacks that you can get at pretty much any event. The thing is, and then I was going to shed layers and get done with the flashlight. I was going to put them into the backpack. The trick, though, is these string backpacks, if you run with one, they're super lightweight, and I highly recommend it. But you got to do it the right way. If you just wear them normally, they swing back and forth across your back, and it's really annoying. So what you do instead is you get a clip of some sort, and I use an ID badge clip from work, and you loop it around one side on your chest, and then clip the other side on your chest, and it makes like a cinch strap on the front of the thing that won't move up and down because the clip kind of holds it in place with friction because it bites down on the strings, and it holds the backpack tighter against your body, and you put stuff in there, and it's awesome. I use it for trail running and long running all the time. All right, sorry, I had to get off the microphone for a second, and I'm back. But actually, it's been quite a few days, and I've changed locations. I'm at my house doing something. So let's pick up where we left off, running with this string backpack. So then I stopped at one point about an hour in, took off my beanie hat and my bamboo black long sleeve shirt. So you can get shirts that are made out of bamboo material. Come on, buddy. Come on in, you freaks. Here's the dogs. I'll let them in. We're going to hear them yelling at anybody out front. Okay. The Kahara, something like that, is the brand. I don't have it on me. But anyway, bamboo is awesome. It's kind of like wool. It's a natural wicking and antimicrobial. I got it right here. Let's see. Material. And I've got a shirt that's a long sleeve black shirt that's made out of this. Some of it's bamboo. Let me look at the tag. Caraloha, Cariloha, performance bamboo foot, made in India. Where is the care and instructions? Here it is. It is 55% organic cotton, 40% viscose from bamboo, 5% elastane, which is spandex kind of stuff. Anyway, it's a really cool shirt. So I was wearing that over my Von Blanc shirt, and I also had on arm coolers underneath all that. And so anyway, I peeled off the long sleeve shirt and the beanie hat, and with the flashlight, stuffed that in the flashlight all in the beanie bag, and the running backpack thing that I had, and then took off running again, and it worked great. It's such a smart thing. I talk about it every once in a while on a podcast. Everybody ought to figure out how to use one of these things. It's great. Anyway, and let's see. So that was all kind of the race start kind of stuff. And then during the race, there's actually a little bit less during the race because the race is such a blur, once you get going, even though you're just jogging. Now, this was 3 laps, and my best ever was previous races was a 3:05 lap, 3 hours and 5 minutes lap. And then what I do is I do the first lap as easy as I can, and then the second lap as easy as I can, and then halfway through the third lap, you start asking yourself, okay, because you're really coming apart by that time, and then you go, could I go faster? And if you got anything left, then go faster. So I did my notes here. First lap was ridiculously easy. If you could get your fueling right, everything would be so much better. Better in life, better in long races, because this lap was well fueled. I felt fine, and because I felt fine, I was just jogging along super easy, and I ran my first lap in 2 hours and 55 minutes. So 10 minutes faster than probably my best ever lap that I've ever done. And then my second lap I did in a 3:02, and my last one in 3:12. First lap and a half was pretty awesome. So about 4.5 hours. It was pretty awesome. Started to get burpy and illish, feeling sick, halfway through the whole race. So I remember I was running along, and I started burping, and I'm like, oh man, what the hell's going on? And not able to take on fuel. And eventually, after about an hour of this, there was this aid station that I stopped at, and I grabbed they had Oreos and some other stuff, and I was like, that's all nice. And then they had Samoa Girl Scout cookies. That's a caramel drizzle with a little bit of coconut in it. And they laughed when I was kind of looking, and I go, those, I want those. And they just go, okay, here. And so I ate half of one and then finished it off and felt amazing. And looking back, it might have been because I stopped long enough to fiddle with the cookies, and I slowed down, and that brought my heart rate down, and that brought my effort down enough to digest the fuel that was sitting in me. And that might have actually been more of it than anything else. But anyway, after I ate that cookie and a half, 2 cookies, over the next half hour, I felt amazing, and got my heart rate back up again, and was hauling ass. And that was a good time. And let's see, I got that at Park Road, if you know that aid station, and felt good again for about an hour. Then felt like crap again for the rest of the race. Flew, in all caps, through the first 4 hours like it was super easy, feeling great, running mostly on last night's pizza. Did I eat too much sweet stuff early on? Too much Tylenol and ibuprofen? I took a little bit of that starting at the beginning of the race. I think I'm going to quit doing that. And then I quit that entirely and cut salt down to 1 tablet an hour after about halfway through. I did lots of salt pills at first, 1 every 30 minutes. And then I was peeing a little bit too much at first. Every 45 minutes, every hour, something like that. Later on, peed normal amount, a little bit dehydrated, got a little warm at the end of the race. So it got up to 67, which if you're running marathons, that's hot. It's actually pretty hot. And remember, I was wearing this running belt with 2 40-ounce flasks, 2 10-ounce flasks, and then a running bottle in my hand. And a lot of the time, almost the entire time, the one flask would have fuel in it that I made up, and then the other flask would be empty, and I was saving it for when it got hot. And so as it started getting hot and I was running in the afternoon, I would fill up that second flask and dribble water on my head as I was running, and it worked great. It actually kept me really, really cool. And so I figured this out about a year and a half ago or so, and I'm still really recommending it. It works really great. And then Vaseline under my left arm as my arm cooler started scraping my armpit. That was really smart. So the Vaseline lip therapy, the tiny bottle of it, I kept in my handheld running bottle pocket thing. Yeah, I pulled that out and put some Vaseline under my arm, and then was fine. And then singing, my notes say here, singing about Jesus guy, all caps. Well, all first letter caps. Singing about Jesus guy was back. Headphones helped so much with that. So there's this guy that runs, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, and he listens to music while he's running, and it's his own headphones, so you can't hear it, but he's singing about it. And I think it's Christian music, because he's like, hey, yeah, with the power from above, gonna gonna be with him. You can do it. It's amazing. What a beautiful life with him. And I swear to God, because you can't hear what he's listening to, you can't hear the beat. It's terrible, man. It's absolutely terrible. It's a song that you probably don't know, and somebody else is singing it, but then you find yourself going, Jesus, stop this guy. Jesus, help this guy by stopping him from doing this. This is terrible, man. It's really annoying. And on a rare occasion too, somebody would be running the other way or running whatever. I'd pass somebody, and they would be listening to music on a speaker. And I got to tell you, man, you people that do that, you think that that's okay and that no one else minds, man. So many people mind. It is not cool. You're really put in some headphones, man, and just put in some headphones, please. And it really throws off the whole spirit of the whole thing to hear random music coming from a horrible speaker. And you'll hear it better too if you put in headphones. It'll sound better to you. And if you say, "Well, I can't do it because headphones get in the way," get some Jaybirds, get some Bluetooth headphones. They work really good. Okay, enough with that. And let's see. My training. Just a real quick note here. When I felt good. Bad nutrition this year felt terrible. Absolutely terrible when you felt bad. But when you felt good, you felt great. The training you did was absolutely perfect. I drank tons of water the entire way. Maybe that's what helped you keep going in spite of not feeling good from the fueling. And so I've been working this direction of drinking a liter and a half per hour, or up to 2 liters, I guess. I don't know. But a liter and a half per hour while working out. And I'm ramping up my water volume because you need like that kind of water to digest the kind of fuel that you need to eat to keep going. And so first it's water and then fuel on top of that. But you got to make sure you take a little bit extra salt with that kind of water so that it's got some electrolytes in it, or so you don't get hyponatremia. So one time I tripped and crashed while running downhill. I scraped up my right hip pretty good. It still itches a little bit. And but the bottle in my right hand took the brunt of the fall. I put my hand down and my bottle hit, and I just slid along the bottle. And it was kind of a crazy fall. Like I tripped and stumbled, and you try to save yourself, and then it's not going to happen. And it was when I was feeling really, really good, so I was kind of probably outrunning my legs a little bit. It's after I ate one of those Girl Scout Samoa cookies. And but the water bottle kind of saved my hand a little bit from getting scratched up, so that was kind of interesting. Did ibuprofen and Tylenol in the first half screw you up? I'd like to get some feedback from people on what they think about that. I shouldn't have been taking that, but people tell me, let me know what they think, and some expert advice weigh in on that. I knew that if I kept my heart rate below 140, I could still eat and digest plenty as long as I kept pouring water in with it. And I'm starting to think maybe 140 was a little bit, I was below 140, but I was doing like 135 or something like that. And maybe I should have been going even less than that, less hard. And then, so somebody was looking at my graph, and because I posted it on the interwebs, and they said, "Holy crap! You kept your heart rate just like so even throughout the entire run." And that's actually what I focused everything on. Was if my heart rate starts climbing, slow down. If my heart rate starts dropping, then either you're not eating enough or drinking enough, and you're bonking. So fix it. Right, and so that's what I did. So my heart rate graph for this entire race is actually pretty impressive for me. It's nice and smooth between like 125 and 135 like the entire way. It's really cool. And that includes not going too hard on the uphills, so you don't spike it and then wear yourself out. Should you eat solid foods, Amrita bars, Fig Newmans, rice bombs, more of this during the race instead? Does that stimulate digestion? I don't know. I've heard the opposite, But why did the Samoa cookie work so well? Cookies. Oh, and then through the last half of the race, I tried eating Oreos because they're real sugary, but there's actually a lot of fat in them. That probably didn't help. And Samoas too. And then that didn't work any better. Actually, I went back to feeling like crap again, so I'm not really sure. I do have this amazing skill that is not marketable for anything. I can run downhill like a madman. I would just pass tons of people running downhill. I've got some weird thing where that's my one thing that I'm not afraid of doing is running downhill fast. And I think we're going to talk about it in a second. The lack of downhill run training in my training and my ability, my love or my non-fear for running downhill fast ended up really freaking hurting my legs towards the end of the race. And then I took my shirt. I love off-road ultramarathons because after you warm up, they are totally cool with you running with no shirt on, and I'm a bigger guy, so it keeps me super, super cool to take the shirt off. I really enjoy it. So after lap 1, I took my shirt off and handed it to Emily, and we laughed about it, and then took off running again. Okay, after race thoughts. So, I finished the race, and when I got to the finish line, because I was running really hard the last 10 minutes or so, I started feeling like I was going to puke when I got to the finish line, but out of 10, an 8 out of 10, I was going to puke. I was being pretty careful, and that I didn't puke. I took a really funny picture of a puking sign. There's an arrow, don't puke here, puke other places, because the finish line's an aid station, and as well. And I was glad. I was the last bit of the run. I was running an 8-minute mile for the last half mile or something like that, which was signs that I still had. The training was definitely there. It's just more of a fueling thing of why I couldn't go faster. And so that was the wrap up of the race. We went and I got my medal. I go, stand still so we can take your don't go anywhere so we can take your ankle chip off. And I'm like, don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. And my legs really hurt when I was done. And we went and ate Mexican food, and Emily had a cold beer waiting for me in the car when I was done, and I only drank about half of it. I was just not interested in eating anymore. So, so my fueling was just kind of, and then, so after race thoughts. Oh, wait, and then Emily, what's so cool is Huntsville's an hour and 15 minutes from my house. So we drove home, and then stayed up a little bit, and then what did I do? I went to bed, had fun, and went to bed. And then after race thoughts, okay, Nike Dry Fit shorts rock, and no chafing, they're just really, really good. They don't hold on to water, sweat, and get weighed down and nasty. And it's the Dry Fit that's kind of a silkier Dry Fit that's stretchy and silky. Look for those if you can. And then run and dry is DRI. Should I have run slower on the downhills? Possibly, to keep my legs from getting so sore later on. The carb loading before a race works great. I ran that first lap and a half on just the carbs from the previous couple of days, and so that's 4.5 hours, 4.5 hours of just cruising along. That's a really fast half Ironman, basically on previous days' food that you don't have to digest. That's absolutely amazing that that's available in your body to use. And if you race shorter races, then you got to start thinking about that this is something that is available in your body as a system it can use. Polarized training with hard intervals works, all capital works with an exclamation point. Never came close to stressing out aerobic or my muscle system, my strength system. Huge PR, like a PR by almost half an hour. Felt ridiculously easy while my fueling was working. So yeah, polarized training is the frickin' bomb. It is so cool. You can't do polarized training until you get some base under you, but then once you get your base in and you can kind of go the time, then the polarized is just amazing. And that's a method that I coach. I'm full of coaching clients right now, so I'm not advertising myself, but polarized training is the method that I like to coach, and it's so easy to coach too. It's great. Your personal fuel formula didn't work. Mostly malto and a little bit of Gatorade, green tea, and salt. After you ran out of stored energy, you started getting kind of sick and fading at 5 hours in. I've actually been talking with Paul Duncan Jr., who's Angela Nath's husband, and he's cluing me in a little bit that it's a lot of times if your fuel is pretty standard fuel, and what that is, that's maltodextrin with some Gatorade. That's basically gel. That it's actually what you're eating the day before and the morning of that's more important, and that may have a lot to do with your fuel not working. So we'll have a lot more on that later on in the year as we evolve towards our Ironman training. Ate a Girl Scout cookie and boom, took off like a beast. But the next aid stations only had Oreos and didn't work so well. I couldn't get my heart rate up towards the end. Like in 2013, I had to run, walk little bits as I kept fading and finishing up. Felt pretty sick after the finish and fragile and sore. Not ideal. Very, very sore in my quads the following days as well. Very sore. Note, limiting factor along with shitty nutrition, sorry for cursing, was quads started giving out, and that really slowed you down. You definitely have to do quad work at a gym on machines or running downhills before your next one of these ultra marathons. You were way too sore after the race. My glutes, I said in my notes it says flutes. I mistyped. Maybe it auto-corrected. I'm going to fix that. Glutes and hamstrings started to hurt at one point during the run, but then it went away. That was weird. About halfway through. It hurt for about 20 minutes, and then all of a sudden I was fine again. I tripped and fell. Already got that. Twisted my ankles a few times, but not that bad. So running off-road at Milliken, which is this area near my house, on these trails was a really smart idea. The crowd really thinned out over time. Music was nice to keep myself company. Yeah, so I would do my music kind of on sometimes, kind of off. I was playing music about half the time. If I got bored or if I wanted to use it to motivate me to keep going when I wasn't feeling good or something like that. I was trying to save battery, in case on my phone and on the headphones. Morgan called me with about 1 mile left. He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" Well, I was running, and at this point, I'm feeling my stomach's feeling queasy, and I'm running as hard as I absolutely can because the finish line is a mile. It was less than a mile away, and I said, "Dude, I got to call you back. I'm finishing this race." And he goes, "Oh, sorry," and some guy passed me with 3/4 of a mile left to go, and I didn't have the energy to chase him down, and that was. That pissed me off. I was like, oh man, I've got my guy, at the end to really make this a race. And there he is. There's my rabbit. And didn't have the energy, even though my stomach I couldn't eat anymore. You know what I mean? It was weird. And I hate that. Garmin tracking on the Garmin 920 XT rocked. So this is a triathlon watch, but guess what? It makes a great ultramarathon watch because you can turn on the tracking. And my watch almost ran out of battery, but I think the backlight was on, and you can't tell during the daytime if the backlight is on. So I found a setting in there where it turns you can have the backlight on all the time, and you have to manually turn it off, and I think that's what mine was on. And then there's auto turn off. So I just switched mine back to auto turn off after like 15 seconds or something like that. No matter what, it'll auto turn off. And you have to manually turn it back on. but then it'll auto turn off. And I think that'll save my battery because the watch is supposed to last like 20 hours or something like that. So the fact that I was hitting, it started giving me low battery warnings at 8 hours and 45 minutes in. I was like, that's not right. My phone for the live tracking only used about 50% of the battery, in spite of listening to Pandora about half the time and using all the Garmin tracking. Very rare tweet. I tweeted a few times while I was running and checked Twitter a couple times while I was running. I swapped out my Jaybirds for a fresh pair, Jaybird headphones, Bluetooth headphones, for a fresh pair on the last lap. They lasted just fine. At one point during the run, I tweeted, is this live tracking thing working? And then, because no one replied back that they were following it. And then a whole bunch of people replied back, yes, this is awesome. Keep going. Like that. I was like, oh, okay. And it's like, is this thing on? And then this is really interesting. I noticed that people were cheering for me differently. Lots of, looking good, man. Come on. You got it. Like I was an actual like contender, for the race. And how people cheer for you differently when you're actually racing towards the front instead of just completing a race is weird. And I do the same thing to other people. When there's a guy that's leading a race, what do you say? You tell him, you got it, man, come on, like that. And then what do you tell the second place guy? Hey, he's only like 2 minutes in front of you, right? You don't, and now let's say you're cheering on people that are like towards the middle or towards the back of a race. What do you say? Good job, good job, good job. They ought to do a 50. They ought to do an ultramarathon called the Good Job Marathon because that's all people say. It's kind of like that joke about what's the shortest word in the English language, and it's somebody smoking a joint and then going here like that. Well, in ultra running, it's good job, because that's all you can get out of your mouth. And so I noticed while I'm running, something weird was happening where I would pass people or there'd be volunteers or something like that. And they're like, all right, you got it, come on, like that. And I was like, what's happening? This is odd. I don't get this usually. And then I started to realize that I was, my training and my pace and everything had elevated my performance up to a level where now I was being lumped into the group of the fast guys towards the front. And that was really cool. I was like, that's weird. The best results are when you're not looking for the results and then the results are presented to you. Because, I forgot, it's some kind of, something bias. I forgot what it's called. Where you find what you're looking for. You're more likely to find something if you're looking for it. So if something starts happening and you're not even looking for it, that is a huge indicator that there's that thing is there. If I'm trying to think of a better example, but I think y'all understand what I'm talking about. There's the phone. I'm not going to answer that. If you walk around looking for a quarter, you'll eventually find a quarter pretty quickly, And then, but if you stumble over a quarter, that must mean there are quarters everywhere. So the fact that I noticed that other people were saying, were treating me like I was a faster guy, without me wanting to be treated or thinking that I should be treated like a faster guy, was like, holy crap, I must have gotten faster. Which that was such a nice side effect of the race that I enjoyed. But still, 10th in age group and 36th overall, isn't like, that's not that great. But it's still so much better than what I used to do, which was super slow. Don't take any ibuprofen or Tylenol next time. Just stop taking it, is in my notes. Feeling like only take that if you're feeling like a boss with plenty of food in your stomach and you feel great. Oh yeah, maybe taking it. Because my stomach probably didn't have enough food in it, and I'm sitting there taking drugs, and it's probably making me feel ill. How about that? I had no joint pain at all during or after the race. My knees and hips are fine. So this is really interesting. A lot of people, most people, will have ankle, knee, foot, hip pain, like all kinds of stuff from their joints being torqued from long distance running. and Ironman and stuff like that, I feel the same way. And the only thing that hurt after the race was my quads. That was it. And that's a huge plug for cushiony shoes. And I was wearing Adidas Energy Boost, which are nice and cushiony. So check those out. But in my notes though here it says if you're going to do for 50 miles, Adidas Energy Boost is okay, but Hoka's, if you're going to run longer, people swear by them. If you're going to run really, really long, or for a long time, what's long for you, like really long for you, that Hoka's with all that cushioning is good stuff. Okay, I think that's it. Holy crap! And then in my notes about the race, I got things like the race document and maps and stuff like that they give. So, yeah. So that was the race, man. Let's go to show sponsors, and let's try to wrap this sucker up and get it out. Let's see. We have Amphibian Multisport in Libertyville, Illinois. Go check them out. First ride on the CompuTrainer is free. amphibianmultisport.com. And bring your own bike in if you like, and you can ride on the CompuTrainer. And they've got the endless pools, and they do no contract membership, so you can pay by month to month. $100 a month for active military and firefighters and police. They have a $25 a day drop-in rate if you're not a member, which is super cool. So if you're in the Chicago area, go check them out. Full-blown tri-shop. Super cool. And that's from a good friend and supporter from the show. So we're happy to have him on as the as one of our sponsors. Thank you so much. Sound Probiotics. I have not gotten sick with anything. I haven't had a cold, nothing. And I'm at work with all these, in an office with people that are sneezing into their hands instead of into their shirt sleeve or into their elbow, and it's like, you're a grown adult, man. Quit doing that. And probiotics keep you from getting sick. And they help you digest food. They do all kinds of good stuff because they support your immune system. They support the bacteria growth in your stomach, the good bacteria, and that's like, I think it's like 70% of your immune system is the bacteria in your digestive tract. I wish I had the numbers on me right here. But anyway, it's really, really good stuff. And Sound Probiotics is SOUND. I always got to spell things out because of my Texas accent. And theirs is formulated for athletes. It's not just any regular probiotics. And you can get 10% off of their orders with the coupon code ZenTri, all caps, ZenTri, all one word. Go check them out. And also, this is super cool. My buddy Morgan has been working on improving TrainerView. So TrainerView, @TrainerView on Twitter, is the website for it is realtimeathlete.com. He dropped the price by a ton, and the pro version is now like $1 a month or something like that. And it is super cool, and I'm continuing my ride around New Zealand. I have now made it from the northern tip of New Zealand down past Auckland, just to the west of Auckland, and it is just so cool. And I can create my own route, so I'm not taking a straight shot. I'm actually going down to the beach and riding around along the coastline, and then coming back in to follow the coastline back in, and then back out again through all these national parks. It's super, super cool. It's a website that stitches together Google Street View. You create your course, and then if you get the pro version, you can save your courses, save your settings, save your position, save where you are, and get right back on it again. And my goal is to ride all the way around New Zealand over, I don't know how long it's going to take me. I'm doing it in like an hour at a time, 2 hours at a time. When I'm on my bike, I do it at 20 miles an hour, and when I do it on my treadmill, I do it at like 7 miles per hour. That's what I leave the setting on and just kind of leave it alone. And it's just so cool. I absolutely love it, man. I post on my Twitter account, Zen Triathlon on Twitter, pictures from it all the time. And lots of cool stuff out there. when you actually go to street level and cruise around. And again, you get to pick your own course. It's really, really nice. And then design your own course over and over and over again, anywhere you want to go. And it works anywhere where there's Google Street View. So all across Europe, except for Germany. Germany banned Google Street View for some reason. And then Australia, Norway, Hawaii, California, Nevada. It's really great for previewing race courses. You can ride the Ironman Texas race course, for example, Galveston race course, and get landmarks kind of memorized. It's really neat. Let's see what else we have. Amrita bars. I think I'm out. I need more. 15% off Amrita bars with discount code ZEN, all caps, at amritahealthfoods.com. So Amrita bars are my go-to snack. They are date-based bars that are, I know they're nut-free. They might be gluten-free. They're really great for people that have allergies, and they're easily digestible, super awesome, mellow, and they make a cool racing kit. And it's just nice to have Amrita bars laying around. They did a profile on me just the other day on their website, which is pretty cool. Again, 15% off Amrita bars with discount code ZEN. And go to Amrita, it's AMRITA, healthfoods.com. And you can also support the show through donations. And so I have some emails, and yeah, I got one good email. I got an email from another guy. Let me talk about that for a second. What's it? Matilia? Let me pull it up. And from Sweden. And he said, man, give Vitargo fuel another try. It really does work. You must not have been doing it right. I'm like, yeah, I probably wasn't. Let me pull it up. I'll get his name. And you can support the show, Zen and the Art of Triathlon, easily. And I'll mention your name on the show if you support the show through donations. So it's super easy to donate to the show. If you dig the show and you think you're getting some helpful tips, all I do on the show is just give tips of what I'm learning and what the pros do, interview pros, interview coaches, and bring you all this so that everybody can have fun out there doing triathlon. And if you do the recurring donation on the left side of zentriathlon.com, down by the PayPal link, zentriathlon.com, then it's $3.95 a month, so that's about $1 an episode, and that's super cool. I got a lot of people, we're going to read off names, that support the show that way, and then you can also do a one-off donation. And if you donate to the show and you send me a question for me to answer on the show, or you send me an email, I'll answer it on the show, which is super cool. You get a little bit of ZenTri coaching for minimal bucks this way. And let's see if I can. This whole time I've been talking, and I never pulled up his Matthias, Mattias, and he's from Sweden. And what did he say? Vitargo is a Swedish innovation. I'll go check him out at Vitargo, vitargo.se. The .se is Sweden, and has been used here among top endurance athletes for years, both as a carb loader before big races and fueling during races. It can be very sticky and messy, and the powder is difficult to dissolve, and then it gave me some tips on how to do it. Warm water, less powder, and lots of shaking, but the stuff is awesome. It works really, really great. So if I was down on Vitargo last episode, maybe give him another try. And let's go back. Where'd it go? Come on, I got things to do. Can't lose my notes. Okay, let's read off some donations, and then we have some Hornet Juice stuff. Let's see. Christopher Allen donated to the show. Julie Callahan, Daniel Stark, Ken Soderquist, Il Sonier. I always have trouble saying that. I don't know why. And let's see, Melissa J. Boudreau, Brett Hoyer, Elizabeth Davis, and John R. Taylor. Thank you for supporting Zen and the Art of Triathlon. I've gotten some comments that people are really enjoying the latest episodes with our interviews with pros and stuff, and with coaches, and they're just a big value to your training. And man, we're going to have a lot of cool stuff as we start ramping up for half Ironman and Ironman training. A lot of nutrition and pacing information I'm going to start doling out over the next few months. And and polarized training methods and tips. So stay tuned for that. And also, you can support the show on the right-hand side by getting Hornet Juice. And actually, I did have a packet of Hornet Juice in my pre-race bottle, along with some Gatorade before the Rocky Raccoon. And that had a lot to do with that smoking fast at a really easy effort first 3 hours. I think that was the Hornet Juice. In fact, I know it was the Hornet Juice working its magic. And so Hornet Juice is this amino acid powder that you pour into your fuel, and you just add it in. It's only about 60 calories, but holy crap, does the stuff work? It's absolutely amazing. It helps you metabolize your body fat for extra energy, and it's based. I always love this. It's based on synthetic Japanese killer hornet saliva. No joke. Go look up the story on hornetjuice.com. It is outrageous where they got this formula from, but also it's equally outrageous on how well it works. I get so many orders and then reorders from people trying it out and using it and absolutely loving it because it actually does work. It's crazy, and it's good stuff. And ZenTri, here at ZenTri, we get just a little bit off the top. Any order of Hornet Juice that you make through us, we get a little bit off the top, and that helps support the show. And then it's a really cool way to support the show because you get something that's cool and fun to try, and then you also support the show all in one move. It's pretty neat. Let's see. I get lots and lots of orders of it. I love being a Hornet Juice vendor. I don't know what we call it, but anyway. We got an email. Oh, you also get a personalized email from me saying, hey, your Hornet Juice is on your way, and that gives you an opportunity to send me a note back, and I'll read it on the show. And here's one from Mike C. It says, Brett, just started listening to your podcast a month or so ago, and I'm really into it. It's been cold, all caps cold, pretty much since the new year, but with enough layers on, running outside is just fine. I can't wait to try this. Hold on, I was looking at something. I can't wait to try this Hornet Juice. I looked into it after hearing you plug it and haven't seen anything negative. Yeah, man, be a skeptic, Like, all the reviews of it are actually positive, and I've never seen a negative review of it. And then if it doesn't work for you, there's no, whatever. Well, then, I don't know, sell it back to your friends or something. So that's a good indicator that it actually works, is the reviews are all positive and all the reorders and stuff like that. Also, I'm now using your baked potato in the microwave method. Thanks for the tip. I look forward to hearing how your Rocky Raccoon 50 miler went on the next podcast. Next up for me is Boston, my first one. So I guess it means Boston Marathon. Really getting after the training. Take care. Well, thanks, Mike. The baked potato in the microwave method. This is what you do. I'm an industrious kind of guy and self-investigating, and I'll try out pretty much anything. And so I was like, man, I'm gonna eat a freaking baked potato. How do I cook a baked potato? And I Googled it, and it said super easy: 5 minutes in the microwave on one side. Stab it with a fork a bunch of times. Which actually I found out, don't stab it with a fork. Stab it with a knife. It's easier to put holes in the baked potato with a knife. And then 5 minutes on one side, flip it, turn it around or flip it over, and then our rotator thing in the microwave doesn't work, the little motor. And then another 5 minutes, and then it's cooked. And what I figured out, my first reaction was, geez, man, I got to wait freaking 5 minutes and then flip it, and then another 5 minutes to eat a potato. That's forever. Why can't it take like 2 minutes or something? So I've learned a strategy is put it in the, rinse it, scrub it, stab it, throw it in the microwave, set it to 5 minutes, and go do something for a while. Don't be cooking a baked potato and expect to be eating the baked potato in a couple of minutes. Because, man, after 10 minutes in the microwave, that thing's got to cool down. You're not eating that baked potato anytime soon. So cook it while you're getting ready for work, while you're cooling down from a workout, and then when you do 5 minutes and it's done, the microwave will start beeping at you. Hey, and then whenever you get around to it, go over there and flip it over and put another 5 minutes on it, and then it'll beep at you. Whenever you get around to it, go and grab it. Right now, check this out. After it cools down, throw it in cools down some. Throw it in a Ziploc bag and sprinkle sea salt and then whatever your favorite flavoring is in there that you want to put on that baked potato. If it's A1 sauce, a baked potato with A1 is freaking great. Lee and Perrin's Worcestershire sauce goes good in there. Sriracha. I'm trying to think of something else that you could put in there. There's all kinds of, one time I put Thai peanut sauce in there, and that was so good. And now you got a baked potato in a Ziploc bag, and you can eat it like an apple because it's been marinating in whatever flavor you've given it for like half an hour, 2 hours. Take it to work with you. Take it with you anywhere you want. It'll last a long days like that. And you can, that sea salt is so good too. And you can just open it up, eat a few bites, and close it back up, put it back in the fridge or whatever you're doing. And it's really, really cool. It's absolutely a portable, nice way to have some fuel, man, and get your carbs and all kinds of good stuff. All right, so that is your nutrition tip for the show. If you start doing this, the baked potato in the microwave, and then throw it in a Ziploc bag, take pictures and post them on Twitter with send me. Tag my name in it, at ZenTriathlon in it too, so I can see what you're doing. This got me motivated. I think I'm going to make one right now to wrap up this show. And let me go through. I think that's it for sponsors and the episode. Yeah, so that's it. Just as another, last plug, the Rocky Raccoon was just tons of fun, and it's so cool taking notes and going through them later, and ideas starting to come to mind afterwards, after the race, and things like, oh, I should have tried this, and I should have done that, and I should have done this, and writing them down in a document so you can use it for your next big race that's similar, and get smarter every single time. We have big brains. We ought use them. Sunto's big motto is replace luck. Use technology to replace luck, and writing things down is a technology that humans came up with, and it can make you so much smarter to share your knowledge with share it with your kids, pass it on to your friends, and then in all, we can get better and better at this stuff. And you're a natural-born endurance athlete. You got to uncover the tricks that make it work. All right, everybody stay safe out there, work the uphills, cruise the downhills, and keep the rubber side down. Out.